They say the medical takes away the violin instead of going through the official channel. I am being framed. The crime I have not done, I am being punished for it. So this is the latest as far as the Sealdah Court hearing is concerned, where the quantum of punishment to Sanjay Roy is expected to be given in just about a couple of minutes from now. He continues to say that I'm not guilty and I am being framed in the matter. Shikha Mukherjee continues to be with us. Shikha, this is exactly what we were fearing. We are fearing that perhaps he is not the ultimate person who is responsible for the crime. Perhaps there are more people, and perhaps he is the sole person who's bearing the brunt because the police failed to do its investigation. The CBI did not really find somebody else. There is no confession which has been forthcoming, and the accused here, Sanjay Roy, continues to say he's not guilty.
He can do, but there was circumstantial evidence. There was a DNA sample. There were all kinds of other forensic evidence. I don't see why that becomes an issue at all.
Absolutely,
certainly the evidence as far as the judge was concerned was all there, and that is why he delivered the kind of verdict that he did. Now, who else was there? Who else may have been responsible for what happened? That is the question that needs to be investigated.
Absolutely.
I don't think one should confuse the verdict on one individual with the rest of the investigation, which needs to be completed.
Now, I think
if there are more people involved, then all of them have to be charged.
Right.
And then the judge has to hear the case. Has to evaluate the evidence and then come up with a verdict.
So as far as the verdict is concerned, the quantum of sentencing is concerned, CBI says that this is a rarest of rare case. CBI has asked now for the toughest punishment possible in the matter. A CBI lawyer further said that it appears that society has lost confidence, and for betterment of society, capital punishment should be awarded. The lawyer of Sanjay Roy says that CBI prosecutor should read the definition of rarest of rare case, perhaps trying to put the matter as not being rarest of rare. So there is currently an argument which is unfolding in the court. The court is currently hearing the quantum of punishment that should be awarded to Sanjay Roy, the prime accused in the RJ Kaur rape and murder case. There is a lot of conversation which is happening. I'm going to read as much as I can for the benefit of our viewers. But going back to you, Shikha, you're right. I think it's not so much about whether he is guilty or not, because the police has done what it can. CBI has conducted a thorough investigation, has found not just DNA samples, his semen samples, and they all go on to point out that he was in fact there that night, and he is responsible for that crime that was committed on a young junior doctor. I think the question largely remains, how many people more should really be brought in the fold of law as far as failing that young doctor is concerned? If you can hear me, Shikha.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
I was listening to what's happening on the other side. See, the question is, one person has been found guilty by the court based on whatever evidence the CBI and the police provide. Let's get on with what else and why. Why did she die? That's the question that now needs to be answered. And I think that's a question that the police and the CBI needs to get on with. Because why will sort of reveal if there were more people or there were not more people involved. And the second thing is that, this is all very confusing. Sandeep Ghosh, the police personnel who was in the Tala police station, all of these things, Sandeep Ghosh was booked by the CBI on a corruption issue. He was investigated on a corruption issue. The police chap was actually picked up by the CBI and found to have made a lot of errors in how he initiated the case. The thing is, all right, all of that happened. But then where is the demand from those who want to change? That the police system in West Bengal needs to be changed. There is also a demand and that it should be taken up at a national level, that how does the police deal with high-profile cases where there may be pressure, political pressure, any other pressure exerted by money and other things. How does the police respond? Can we as a nation clean up the police system? Can we make it can we make it sufficiently transparent for people to think that tampering will not happen, that the police will not be influenced to conduct investigations to suit various influential persons? Can one expect that? Can one expect that from a nation after what happened in Hathras? Can one expect that from a nation after what happened in Arjikor? Can one expect the state to take account of the fact that it is not functioning well at all? It is pretty sick.
This is Riya Kundu, this side from News9, and we are discussing Arjikor case right now, and you've raised some very pertinent questions at this given point. And with regards to today's verdict, while we are playing out all that's going on in the court of law right now, in the Sealdah court, for our viewers on our screens, what is being said by the CBI, what is being said by the judge, both sides of the arguments being presented to you right here at News9 at this given point, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon. But Ms. Mukherjee, I have a question to you with regards to this case, this particular case specifically. If today Sanjay Roy is indeed sentenced with a death penalty, do you think there might be some sort of an agenda with regards to how this investigation has taken place? And the reason I say that is, if Sanjay Roy is the only person who's been investigated into for these many months since this case has come to the fore, and him being given death sentence, don't you think that closes doors to a lot many investigative aspects that are still unclear into this very case, and probably it might be a little hasty?
No, I don't think so. If there is clear evidence that the man has committed a crime, and the court finds that this evidence is sufficient to deliver a verdict of guilty, then this is it. But it does not necessarily mean that the investigation into the case stops. This is exactly the question that I was trying to raise a little while ago, which
Absolutely.
is that, are we as a nation, even in terms of even the attention that we give, are we going to stop and say, oh, well, everything was so corrupt, everything was open to influence, for all sorts of people exerted all sorts of pressure and sort of used their power to kind of quickly close the case? That's not true. The case goes on, the investigation goes on, but are we as a nation far too hasty in letting things go and saying, okay, this is bad, the system is bad, the system is sick, we are helpless, and therefore we have no agency to ask for and demand answers? That's ridiculous.
Absolutely. But ma'am, this particular verdict that was announced on the 18th, what we saw that very day is the investigating agencies seem to be very satisfied at this given point with whatever work they have done. That is the CBI, or even for that matter, initially even the Kolkata police. They were very comfortable, in fact, letting go of the body getting cremated as soon as they could get it done. All of this, the series of events that took place, they were extremely hasty. CBI today as well has, for these many months, only investigated into an angle of Sanjay Roy. They haven't even tried getting into the part where the CFSL findings have suggested that there were DNA of other members involved, or maybe not involved directly in the case, but what exactly happened that night is still not clear at this given point. Now the question is, but the public has not forgotten. Ms. Mukherjee, the public hasn't forgotten.
the public is not asking the questions the way they need to be asked. They're getting involved in the politics of it. Why get involved in the politics of it? Ask the CBI for the answers. Ask the police for the answers if the CBI is not giving you the answer. Or do an all-out political fight with Mamata Banerjee. Get on with it. There is a kind of deliberate fuzziness to the whole narrative, the public discourse that surrounds the RG Kaur case. That is what I believe. Because CBI cannot be satisfied till it has closed the case file. We, on our part, as educated people, don't seem to understand that there is a case file and that case file can't be closed that easily. We seem to think that a verdict in the Sealdah court means that somewhere along the line the guy is going to be let off. I mean, I'm reading stuff on the social media which is horrendous. That guilt. Why delay the sentencing to Monday, and therefore there is a conspiracy, and that the conspiracy suggests that his sentence will be diluted and then he will get away with it. And if this is our understanding as educated people, then I really feel very sorry for us as a nation.
But ma'am, wouldn't you also say that there might be a reason for which this particular mindset has also, developed among people, the society?
Fine. In my grandmother's time, it would have been unimaginable for you and me to be sitting here and talking like this.
Absolutely.
That's mindset. That's mindset. Mindset change. And the people who make that change happen are the people who push against that. So where is that pushing coming from? If we are not educated enough to know how to push after 75 years of independence, then it's a very sad state of affairs that we are living in.
Right. Ms. Mukherjee, do stay with us. Let me quickly just take our viewers through this particular reaction that had in fact come in from Mamata Banerjee herself right before the court. The bench had in fact assembled to hear the sentence verdict that is to be pronounced today. Let's quickly listen into what exactly has been said by the Chief Minister with regards to whether it is going to be life imprisonment or death sentence, death penalty for Sanjay Roy today.
I walked on the roads of West Bengal in support of capital punishment against Sanjay Roy myself, but it depends upon the judges and how the case is handled. All other capital punishments in the state have been pronounced within a maximum span of 54 days. I want capital punishment, and that is what I support in this very case. Let us see what happens.
Well, that is what the Chief Minister has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are in fact bringing to you a rolling coverage with regards to the RG Kaur rape and murder case. Remember, the verdict had been pronounced on 18th of January 2024, that is this Saturday itself, and now the judges have already assembled, the bench has already assembled. The proceedings are currently underway in the Sealdah District Court of Kolkata in West Bengal. We're consistently bringing to you all that's happening within the court. Just to reiterate once more, Sanjay Roy, yet again in the court of law, has come out to plead not guilty, and he has cited several such particular factors for it. In fact, the newest one being with regards to its Rudraksh Mala, which he has said that if indeed I had committed the crime, would the beads of my garland not have fallen there indeed if there was a tussle? So there is a lot of questions with regards to what exactly happened that night. Ms. Mukherjee, when we speak of this very case, we have Tilottama's parents or Abhaya's parents even till date not happy with not just how the investigation has taken its own course.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, Ms. Mukherjee, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. Ms. Mukherjee, I was just saying that, even Tilottama's parents, after the verdict had been pronounced, they said that yes, he has been called out to be guilty, but we still don't know what exactly was his motive to be there. We still don't know anything about that night. And that is extremely concerning for us. We want the investigation to continue. I mean, my question here is this, that, you know, why is there a lack of faith at this given point when we speak of a brutal case like RG Kaur? Then at some point there has been some lapse in the investigation that's taken place. The way people have not been able to, you know, give that confidence to the public out there that, see, we are investigating the case. This is just one person who has been convicted. The case continues, it doesn't close, it's not a shut case after this point. But public still do not have that confidence, let alone public. The parents of the victim do not have it either.
That's not true. I mean, the public, please, West Bengal's public at least certainly knows that a CBI investigation, if picks up one person and then it continues and then it uncovers more and then it goes on to pick up other people and send them off to jail. Please, this was there in the teachers' camp. It's not that old in any case. It's kind of 3 or 4 years ago that it happened. They sent ministers to jail. They sent other people to jail. The investigations continued, and the investigation continues even now. So what is this about this case which makes people think that the CBI is going to stop right here? This is if one begins to look at things in that perspective, then frankly speaking, they're not doing people are not doing the things that they need to do. Which is that they have an example on the teachers' scam, which is where the teachers' recruitment scam, where the CBI not only investigated, but the High Court supervised the investigation, and frankly speaking, one judge got so involved that he even contested the Lok Sabha elections in 2024. Therefore, I really see no reason why anyone should think that a CBI investigation having picked up one person is then not going to do anything about it. It all depends on how pressure is brought to bear and how transparent the CBI is about what they're doing. Now, the CBI has not been very transparent in this case. Therefore, we need to get back and figure out why there is a lack of transparency on the CBI's part. The CBI was leaking like a very large old sieve on the teachers' recruitment scam. Why did it not leak like a large old sieve in this case? Let them now begin to leak information, and we will happily pursue that information and figure out what's happening. We're not getting there.
Ma'am, what would you have to say with regards to whether it should be a death penalty or life imprisonment? Your opinions?
I'm against death penalty in principle.
Even in this case, that's the same, that continues?
I said in principle I am against death penalty.
Right. So
therefore there is a need to also debate, and I think that that debate is something that once came up but has now completely died out in the public sphere, is whether India should reconsider death penalty as punishment. This is a debate which needs to be conducted. The public needs to engage on it. But I am appalled at how easily people seem to think that a tooth for a tooth is good justice. It is not a tooth for a tooth which is good justice, in my opinion. In my opinion, the speed at which an investigation is conducted and people's and the crime is nailed to the person who may have committed it, and the judicial system, the speed at which they deliver one verdict and then it goes to the higher court and then it goes to the highest court, the speed at which all of this is done, that creates confidence. But if that confidence is not created, if justice is not seen to be done, then problems begin.
Right.
But in terms of death penalty, in principle, I am against death penalty.
But then in such cases, in such brutal cases of the sort that Arjikar case was, what would you say is an apt punishment for people who are pronounced to be guilty?
Look, there are plenty of countries in this world where there are equally brutal cases, maybe more. You know, this is not a case where every part of the body was dismembered, stuffed into bags, you know, or stuffed into a septic tank, or sort of evidence was tried. They tried to remove the evidence by pouring acid into it or sticking it in a fridge or something like that. This is not about the worst. There are worse incidents that have happened in the recent past. Public cannot be that ignorant. They do know that there are people who have done this. So I am not in a position to really judge whether which is worse and which is better, and whether one crime deserves death and another crime doesn't. I don't think death penalty is the answer. It is the speed at which justice is seen to be done. People feel confident that if today a crime happens, then within a reasonably short space of time, there will be a sentencing. There will be a clear message goes down to wrongdoers that if you do wrong, then you will be held to account, you'll be judged, and you will pay a price in terms of a punishment. Death is not necessarily the only punishment available.
Right, Ms. Mukherjee, your closing comment, I would in fact want to say, is the fact that death penalty is not the answer. And I think that's a rather apt note to end this conversation here. Thank you so much for joining us at News9. And well, ladies and gentlemen, just to give you a little update on the proceedings in the court at this given point, 2:45 is the time that has now been declared by the judges with regards to when the quantum of punishment will be declared for Sanjay Roy, death penalty or life sentence. Again, his own lawyer, Sanjay Roy's lawyers, have said that there should be a chance of reformation that should be given to Roy. But again, the CBI has come out to say that this is the rarest of the rare cases that we are speaking of, and hence maximum sentence is what Sanjay Roy should be facing. We are, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the ultimate sentence hearing that is in fact currently underway in the Arjikar rape and murder case. But as has been said by our esteemed guest Shikha Mukherjee as well, this is not the end to this very investigation. Investigation shall continue. There are several questions that remain answered on this very matter with regards to multiple people being involved. Those are questions that the CBI will have to delve into once probably a particular sentence has been pronounced for Sanjay Roy. And we will keep a track of all of that is happening in the state of West Bengal. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are slipping into a short break. Stay tuned to News9 as we come back with more stories on the other side.
अपने खुद के वेंचर के लिए ये मसल नहीं, फाइनेंशियल मसल चाहिए।
लाइफ को शेप में लाने का परफेक्ट प्लान, कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सेविंग्स प्लान। कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, प्रॉमिसेस का पार्टनर।
People coming in, millions and millions of people coming in. A dictator showing for one day, and I'm going to close up the border, and I'm going to drill, baby drill, and after that I'm not going to become a dictator. They keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week I took a bullet for democracy. Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. We gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. We made history for a reason tonight.
Will it change the shape of American foreign policy? Violence has erupted in Manipur once again. How can we pass judgments, sir, before any inquiry that, they were volunteers or militants, sir?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching News 9, and at the very top of this segment this afternoon, we bring to you a story that's now coming from the international arena, a rather alarming one at that. In London, the screening of Kangana Ranaut's film Emergency faced unexpected disruption on Monday when pro-Khalistan activists stormed into Harrow Cinema. Group interrupted this film, shouting slogans like Khalistan Zindabad while engaging in heated verbal spats with the very audience there.
भुट्टो को युद्धबंदियों को वापस कर दे, जीती हुई जमीन वापस कर दे, एग्रीमेंट तो भारत की बहुत बड़ी हार। यही होता है जब कोई व्यक्ति
Incident was captured in multiple viral videos showing the activists barging into the cinema hall mid-screening, demanding the show be stopped. Emergency, Kangana Ranaut's directorial debut, depicts the life of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and the political turmoil of the 1975 emergency period. The film, which finally released on January 17th after facing numerous delays and controversies, has sparked strong reactions since its first look. Was the disruption a protest against the film's subject matter, or does it reflect a broader trend of growing tolerance towards Khalistani activism in the West? The debate still remains at this given point. But for now, these are the latest that we are bringing to you. On this very matter, a rather alarming and concerning incident that's taken place at the Harrow Theatres in London during the screening of Kangana Ranaut's Emergency, a directorial debut from the actress, where she's in fact played the role of Indira Gandhi in this bio picture.
I'm not here to argue with you.
भुट्टो को युद्धबंदियों को वापस कर दे, जीती हुई जमीन वापस कर दे, एग्रीमेंट तो भारत की बहुत बड़ी हार। यही होता है जब कोई व्यक्ति
Investigation into the shocking attack on this particular theatre that's taken place is a big question, raises a big question mark at this given point. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, some of the pressing questions at this given point is why has there been no response from the police forces, the authorities in UK or in London at this very given point on this incident. With that, ladies and gentlemen, to in fact bring in his insights into the story, we have Aditya Raj Kaul joining with us, my colleague, joining with us on this very bulletin. Aditya, very good afternoon to you. You know, as we were just speaking of this entire incident, let us also talk about how there has been no response from the authorities. We see a group of such pro-Khalistani activists just storm into a particular movie hall and disrupt the screening of a movie and openly raising anti-India slogans at this given point.
That's right, Shreya. What has happened really is that the emergency screening was happening at the cinema hall in Harrow in London of United Kingdom, and there were both Indians and the British audience that was witnessing this movie that has been, launched by Kangana Ranaut, and there are other actors like Anupam Kher as well playing prominent roles in it. The film has had, controversies in the past as well. Recently, several political leaders in the Indian state of Punjab had asked Bhagwant Mann government to ban the screening of Emergence in Punjab. But what has happened in London is worse. The Khalistani extremists actually went inside the cinema halls and disrupted the screening violently. In fact, you could see at least 10 to 15 of these masked, intruders who actually violently asked the film to be, stopped the screening of the film and asked the people to leave from there. What is more worrying and horrifying is the fact that the police in London, the Metropolitan Police or the Harrow Police, have not acted at all in this particular case. It's also important to mention, Shreya, that in 2023, the Indian High Commission in London was also attacked by the Khalistanis. The Indian flag was brought down and, the window panes were completely broken and shattered. So this is the level of Khalistani extremism that is currently being witnessed not just in Canada and the United States but in London as well. All eyes are now on the Metropolitan Police and the Harrow Police on what action would they take.
Absolutely. Aditya, this particular incident also raises a question of a trend in the rise of Khalistani activities in the West. And too many of these activities going, I wouldn't say unhighlighted, not highlighted at this given point, but definitely a lack of action from authorities in the West with regards to these activities which have been on the rise, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. There's been not just a stony silence or, authorities being a mute spectator, but it seems that deliberately the deep state and the state itself in these countries of Five Eyes intelligence in particular, there's been no action whatsoever being taken against the Khalistani extremists. The definition of democracy for perhaps countries in South Asia or the rest of the world is very different from what they abide by. And in this particular case, we have seen that several Khalistani elements have got safe shelter in Canada, in US, in UK, in Australia, in New Zealand, and no action whatsoever has been taken under the law of the land against such people. We have seen Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, a designated terrorist as per the Indian law, the UAPA, has got a free, will to roam around both in United States and Canada. Gurpatwant Singh Pannu has been issuing through 6 for Justice, threats against Indian politicians, the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, Prime Minister Modi, NSA Ajit Doval and Home Minister Amit Shah as well. Recently, he has issued threats against the Mahakumbh that's happening in Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh, and still no action has been taken. So, one really wonders that what will actually motivate these countries to actually, work by the rule book and take action. But incidents like these that have happened in London really remind you of the kind of mayhem that the Khalistani extremism can cause if they are given a long rope. Also, this comes at a time hours before the swearing-in ceremony or the inauguration of Donald Trump, which has rekindled hope, at least on the national security front, that there would be some change of thought process and some decisive action against such Khalistani elements.
Absolutely, Aditya. Thank you so much for bringing your insights into this very story, a rather concerning one, ladies and gentlemen. At that, this is what we are in fact bringing to you. This is slogans having been raised by pro-Khalistani groups in London as they stormed into this very cinema theatre, Harrow Cinema that is, and they stopped the screening using violent methods. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're slipping into a short break. Do stay tuned to News 9 as we come back with more stories on the other side.
Your promise is IGI certified. Your legacy is IGI certified. Your ambition is IGI certified. Your diamond is IGI certified. Authentic moments need authentic diamonds. Get your diamonds IGI certified. 14-step grading process. 50 years of trust. IGI Trust Certified.
We have people coming in, millions and millions of people coming in. A dictator showing for one day, and I'm going to close up the border, and I'm going to drill, baby, drill, and after that, I'm not going to become a dictator. They keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy. Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. We gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
It's not the fiefdom of politicians. They